how is the adjustment going? Football wise and just life wise to a new team.
It's been great, man. It's been a fresh breath of air. Great offensive line group has taken me in. And the offense, is similar to what I ran with when I had Sean McVay. So terminology is a little the same. I've been in a different offense the last couple of years, but it's exciting, man. It's rejuvenating to be out here and to see the guys flying around and be a part of something that's going to be great.
What's it like being part of a team for so many years, like you were in Washington, and then the quick change right before camp?
Change is always good. I had a great time in Washington. Everything has ran its course. But at the end of the day, I'm here now, and I just, I feel welcomed here, man. All the players, a lot of the guys, playing in the league for 8 years, you see a lot of guys do other teams, and so being able to be on, meeting Corey Davis, LaMarcus Joyner. I remember we used to go at it in the ACC all the time. So seeing familiar faces, man, and just getting around the guys, obviously Makai, us being from the same area and things like that. So that relationship is already starting.
Were you caught off guard by Washington, the timing of their move, or did you and your agent kind of know that was coming?
It was out the blue, but at the end of the day, man, I know God has a plan for me, and we landed here. And just everything that Coach Sala and the offensive coordinator Mike, Coach Ben, all those guys have preached to me, just coming in here and just being able to play, man. I think the interesting thing is that it's a great offensive line already, and just being able to get in the room with the guys and just kind of share my my veteran presence and just being able to go around the course again. New team, new everything. It's a blessing, so I can't complain.
Would you relish that role, like being a veteran guy, being an experienced guy? Because you have, like Elijah and Makai on the other side.
I mean, it's been crazy because I feel like when I was in Washington, like I was like one of the younger guys, and then just like that, I was the oldest in the room. But just seeing the stages, seeing Makai, I've known him for years. Before he even got in the NFL, he used to come to training camp in Richmond with Washington. So just being able to see his development pattern over the years, going into his second year, it's been great. If there's anything I can do to help that, which is the knowledge of the game that I've played, playing so many games, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get the guys to the next level. So, I think I've seen some things, and over my 8 years of being in the NFL, and I've had a great teacher in Trent Williams when I was young in Washington. So it's my job to spread that, that knowledge across the room.
Kai has a plethora of talent, like it's immense. So how much does he remind you of Trent Williams? Do you see any correlation between the two?
Well, it's kind of hard to compare to Trent Williams. But I think the one thing that you can't get, and that's girth and height. You look at the guy, like I thought I was a big dude. I lined up and I'm like, damn, he's blocking the sun for me. So, just to get him out there. And I think, having Karl, I played against Karl a number of times, challenge him every day as a young player. It's iron sharpen iron. When you get some guys out there competing every day, making each other better, and have the thought process of, not hiding or playing secrets, but like, hey, this is what I see out of you. You should change this around. It elevates everybody's game and it allows everybody to get better.
When you met Makai in Richmond at the training camp, was he just a high schooler, or was he in college at that?
He was in college. He was back home from college.
He just went up to you and introduced himself to
you?
I
had a younger tackle that played with me in Washington that played with Makai in college as well. So he came out there to see him and stuff, and that's how I met Makai. And like I said, man, he's a young, talented player, man. The sky's the limit for him, and anything I can do for him, just from the knowledge standpoint, of football, man, I'm willing to help him, man.
What did they tell you when you were considering signing here about your chances to start and competing with George? What was their message to you at that point?
For me, right off back when I came here, competition is everything for me. Nothing is given. Everything that I've worked for in the league since I've been in the league, I've earned, and that's how I want it to be. I feel like if things are given to you, we take it lightly. And at the end of the day, I'm here to get myself better and try to make this team and make the offensive line better. Whether that's in the starting role or not, I'm gonna be the same guy. I'm gonna show up every day and give my best effort and put my best foot forward.
George prior to here?
Yeah. I actually trained with George for the last 2 years in Florida. So, I know him very well. So I'm excited for him to get in here and be a part of the offensive line and get it going.
Have you guys talked at all? I mean, obviously, you're both pursuing the same thing, and have you spoken to him since you got here in terms of the competition you guys have, and is there ever any awkwardness to that? I mean,
no, I think when you bring awkwardness in it kind of separates the room, and that's the last thing I think. From my standpoint, that I want to do as a professional is divide the room. At the end of the day, I think our play will reflect, who will get the job, and that's up to the coaching staff. For us as players, it's just to go out there and push each other to the best to our abilities, and that's what I feel like, we're doing now. And when he gets here, I think it's tomorrow. I think, I expect him to come in full force and, allow me to learn from him and him to learn from me as well. So he's been in the league for a while as well. So, I think it's a great situation, man, because at the end of the day, as an offensive lineman, to have depth in the offensive line room is very key.
Morgan, you had other interested teams. Why did you pick the Jets?
It was just, to be honest with you, man, it was just familiar. The first thing they talked about was the offensive line and defensive line, is that we got to win up front. And I think when you have the mindset from a GM and it trickles down to the head coach that, hey, the game is won in the trenches, that's how you start the winning process. You can't take care of a rookie quarterback unless you got the best 5 blocking for him. You can't disrupt the quarterback on the defense if you don't have the best 4 or 5 defensive linemen. So I think when you have that mindset going into the season that, hey, we want to be a force up front, I think that takes care of a lot of the problems.
There's been a lot of lack of continuity on the line here for the last few years, which I don't know how well you're aware of that playing elsewhere, but in the short time that you've been here, and you've talked about Makai a little bit, what do you see out of this group here? Can you see, your group being a force,
Definitely. I think the first thing that I noticed about this group was like, man, this is a tight group. They automatically threw me into the O-line chat and everything. I had been talking to Greg over the summer about, because he had Masco, my O-line coach in Washington. We had the same coach when he was in Carolina. So we shared a couple of stories back and forth. And I think the biggest thing is that, getting us to gel together, it's a team sport by far, but those 5 guys up front control everything. Whether it's, the safety blitzing off the edge or having to get the young quarterback to see the blitzer from the other side, us being on the same page has allowed him to just sit back there and do his job. So, there's a lot of things that go into this off the field and on the field, and I feel like, the start is here.
Do you know DeBrickashaw at all?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, UVA great, man. Yes, sir.
Your durability kind of is reminiscent of Brick never missed a practice here. It's kind of legendary.
Yep.
What do you attribute your durability to over time? Because, linemen usually have a tough time staying on the field.
Yeah, availability is key. I've been able to play 90-something consecutive games straight, and that's just the willpower of just not wanting to leave my guys out there by themselves. I feel like if I can go out there and play a little more better than the backup might be, then I'm gonna go out there and try. If it's for a quarter or 2 quarters, whatever the case is. And just I had some good vets getting into the league. When I got into the NFL, I had some good vets that took care of me, allowed me, taught me how to go to yoga, eat right, stretch, take care of the body. Because at the end of the day, you are the CEO of your body, and if you're not available, you can't showcase your talent on Sundays, and that's the biggest thing. So just being able to to do that over the course of the years that I've been in the league has been it's been a great testament of just battling. It's been ups and down teams I've been on in Washington, but at the end of the day, it just goes down to the love of the game, and you love the game, you're gonna make yourself available to be out there on Sundays.
When you got here, just getting back to your reason coming here, how aware of you of Joe Douglas and kind of his I was a kind of former offensive line guy.
Yeah,
much has been made about him. And
Richmond ties. He's around that area, and then also him being in Philly. When he was Philadelphia. So obviously playing those guys twice a year when I was in Washington. The one thing he says, like, look, I've seen your play over the years. You've gotten better. And it's weird to say, as in year 8, I still feel like, I have room to make improvement. I think the thing that's been the success key for me is this going into every season knowing that, all right, I can improve in this area. And just being able to do that has allowed me to succeed on Sundays and throughout the season. So I look forward to just getting with the group, learning the plays, learning the different techniques, and just being able to shed my light on some things and see if it works, and just go out there and give my all.
In your time in Washington, you kind of became the leader of the offensive line. That's fair.
Yep.
At this point, do the young players look to you already as sort of a leader, and are you kind of embracing that?
My thing is, I try to come in every day and be the same person. That's the biggest thing. If they have a question for me about football or whatever the case is, I don't mind helping. Like I said, I've been in the league going into 8 years, so I've seen a lot of things. I went up against a lot of great players in the NFC East, NFC period, and so just to be able to shed light on football, like those conversations with football, it makes me chuckle a little bit, because it's like, man, just a couple of years ago I was that person, hey man, how do you do this, how do you do that, and I'm still kind of in that rim because I'm learning the whole offense, and they're a little ahead of me because of OTAs and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing is just being able to be available for those guys, and them the guys to be available for me as well. I think if we can feed off each other, we make each other stronger.
Are you looking at Washington? They're having some issues with COVID, vaccinations, lack of vaccinations, and frustration from Ron Rivera. Are you mindful of that? And do you have any thoughts on it?
Just for me, I can only control what I can control. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm here now, and my thing is to come here and not miss practices, because at the end of the day, you can't get those days back, So right now, I'm just trying to control everything I can control here, and be available and be able to learn from the guys that's been here over the OTA period, and just learn this offense as best I can.
Who were some of the veterans that did help you as a rookie that have really impacted your career?
Obviously Trent Williams, he was there when I was there. Jason Hatcher, we had got him from Dallas when I was in Washington. And he was like 10 years in. He's the one that introduced me to yoga. Like every off day he would be like, hey, I'm picking you up. I'm taking you to yoga. We'll go to hot yoga. And just learning how to eat right, I think the biggest thing, if you feel like as a pro that when you leave this building that everything is done there, then you're not doing enough. Because at the end of the day, we only have a certain amount of time to get our bodies right here, and then you have to be able to extend yourself when you get home to take care of your body even more.